pretty weird shape. Hi, I'm miltonchang of Bonsaiheirloom. Today I'll work on this dwarf pomegranate. It's pretty weird shape. The guy sold it to me, didn't know what he can do with it. He dug it from somebody's garden, and so I bought it. That's about 25 years ago. And I have to confess, it never fruited, never flowered, never fruited. Until this year, it fruited. So it flowered, but the fruits did not stick. So I still have no idea how big the fruit will be. So I suspect it will be a dwarf pomegranate about this size. Dwarf pomegranates are usually started from a cutting, and some of them will actually turn very contorted, not contorted, but twisted the trunk as it grows, and could be a very interesting bonsai material. But this one didn't twist, but it's a root that was dug up that's really weird shape. They have a characteristic, they tolerate drought, but it would not fruit well or flower well when the soil gotten dry out sometime during the year. And so you have to keep it constantly moist and constantly watered and put it in full sun. And don't disturb the roots too much. Once you disturb the roots, it will not fruit several years following. I think that's all I know about dwarf pomegranate. They grow fairly slowly. So this is a fairly old root that was stuck up in the Los Angeles area. There were a lot of old houses with that for decoration at one time. But they are very good bonsai material. Again, I hope someday it will fruit and flower and fruit to show for me to know what size of the fruit they are. I have some other pomegranates that are twisted, dwarf pomegranate, and also some dwarf pomegranate that has fruited. So I will not take the cuttings of these because I don't know what the quality, the flower or the fruit will be like. Now, this tree has a very interesting design. It simulates an animal. And the genesis of that, Chinese like that kind of a bonsai. The genesis is actually the Taoism. It's a religion in China that believes in fairies and magic. And so the fairy could point to something and turn it into a miniature and a fixed object, they turn a person into a piece of rock or made a giant tree into a small bonsai. So that's the genesis of that design. So with that little bit of a background, let me get to work. So again, this is going to be fairly quick. I let it grow so that it will strengthen. So I'm just going to click fairly quickly and we'll never use the tall branches. So I just cut it off so it can help me visualize better what to do the detail cut. These are way too long. I will never use them, so I just cut it without paying a lot of attention. And then the next step of cutting, I will pay attention to save the main branches for design. Again, I let it grow for it to gain strength, because otherwise, if you keep clipping it, it will not fruit, and the trunk will not get thickened as fast. And this tree, even though it's in a bonsai pot, I fertilize it well. You can see it's grown a lot. In a sense, it's growing a lot, and it has thickened the trunk quite a bit. And this winter, I will repot it because I haven't repotted probably a good 5-10 years. So I'm just cutting it off to get the rough outline to see where I'm going with the design of this tree, right? Because these long branches I'll never use. Okay, now let me come to the front, start to work on it seriously that you can see what I'm doing. Now, I'm not going to take it out of the pot because this is the summertime, but you can see this tree is like an animal with the legs grasping the bottom. And then this trunk died off here, but there are 2 branches. So the likelihood is I will cut this off and make these 2 side branches to grow out to become the apex. So with that in mind, then let me just get to work. So this part is the tallest part, so this will become the apex. I'll probably let this branch to become the apex and this branch coming down. So with that in mind, I would start cutting and leave this No, that's not a, yeah, this top branch alone. So this become my apex. This will become the apex. So you can see this died off, and this now is the apex, and that these branches will come down, and this will go back, and that's the triangle. I leave some of that as a backup plant, just in case I needed a branch here, I can let that grow. They tend to shoot out everywhere to disrupt the design. So you have to be fairly aggressive when you cut them because they shoot out fairly quickly. You have plenty opportunity to design, reshape the tree. So I'm just cutting off any redundant branch because they shoot out everywhere, and you take the remaining ones to use for design. Now this is the branch, so this is the apex that is coming down a branch, right? So I will use this. The way it is now, this branch, I don't think this is really healthy, but this is an interesting existing design with this going up and then this branch going down. And this fall, I may change my mind and tilt the tree up and cut this off and make that the apex. And that would be give me a lot more depth in a sense going this way, coming and then going back. The likelihood is that's what I would do. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna live with that and see what happens. But like I said, I may very well make all of this into gin and then make that the apex. But that would be in the fall when I repot the tree. By turning it, I can see where I'm going with it. Again, I always advocate you either have a nice tree or have a dramatic tree. And I'd rather have a dramatic tree than just a nice tree, which is a lot more commonplace. Whereas dramatic will be, you'll catch people's eyes and ooh and ah about it. And at the end, bonsai is to impress people with your artistry. Seems like this part is too tall. So I'd rather cut it off to make them go that way, and I can use anchor wire to pull it down to make it more of a going out angle. So anything that points up will get cut, and I leave a little space so that something may shoot out on the side. So anything points up, gets cut off because it's going the wrong direction. So like this branch, so I'm accentuating this is the apex. Therefore, this branch is going the wrong direction. It's up to compete. Here, this branch is going off in the right direction. So what I'll do is I cut this short so something may shoot out. But on the other hand, let this one go back to become the back branch. Right? See, now you got this branch coming out and going down. And same thing, this branch is pointing up, so I cut it off. And then this branch is going down, and now you can use for design. So that's how you get the twist and turn ramification, keeping in mind the direction you want the main branch to go. Just cut off anything that's going the wrong angle, and then the rest would catch up as guided by the natural growth habit of the tree to make it look natural. So like this looks like an apex for this branch. So I let it get a little taller. Like this, whereas this thing going that way, so it should be going this way. So I cut this off. And this is the lower branch than this one, so I cut this off. See, now you can see this trend took a nice turn, and I think that's going too far. So maybe what I'll do is that I would cut off here, or maybe cut off here to see what happens. Maybe this branch will go out this way, and then so this trend will come out this way and then this way. So this is a dwarf pomegranate. You can see actually the base is really huge. So this is a very, very old pomegranate. I wouldn't be surprised it's 80, 100 years old. They're from the Los Angeles old homes. I saw the potential of making use of the roots to create a Chinese moving animal kind of a design, which has its genesis in the Taoism religion. And you can see I let it grow wild to gain strength and gain the thickness of the trunk. And then I trim it off to quite bare. And it's got a lot of buds, so it shoot out to give me a tremendous amount of opportunity to reshape it, redesigning it. But you can beginning to see, here's an apex, there's a little sub-apex, and the same thing. It will be a really nice tree to simulate this Taoism animal that got turned into a tree. So that's it. And what I will do is that right now, it seems like this is the apex, but one possibility is making this the apex and make all of this gin by tilting the tree up. So for example, I will probably tilt the tree up this way, or tilt the tree up this way to make that accentuate the height. And then these three will be kind of growing like this. I think that will be probably what I do in the fall. And I'll take it out of the pot and repot it into my good soil mix. This soil, I think, is a little bit dry, so I will put a little bit more peat moss in it so that it will be more moist and therefore more likely to fruit and flower and fruit. In short, dwarf pomegranate is a really magnificent material because it ages, show the age very well. You have to water it constantly to keep it moist, and don't disturb the roots as much if you want a flowering and fruiting. I think this will be a very good, interesting tree we shall see in time. So with that in mind then, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Click like, tell a friend about this channel, and subscribe to our channel, and would send us your email address so we can notify you of any available material to purchase. Well, with that then, I thank you very much, and see you next week.